Hey, it's Sam. Welcome back to a new video, and today I am going to give you an Elantris by Brandon Sanderson review. I read this about 2 months ago, so there are some things that I don't remember, but it's still kind of fresh in my mind. So I read this only once, of course, because I just read this year. So yeah, I said that there would be Cosmere videos coming in the future, but I'll go into deep dives, next year probably, but right now it's just going to be reviews. So I read this book. It was a great book. It was dystopian fantasy, which there aren't that many of those. Usually with dystopians, it's usually Earth, thousands and thousands of years ahead of time. But this was a fantasy. It took place on this planet called Cell. I only know that because of watching some YouTube videos about this Cosmere stuff. And there's the city called Elantris. And Elantris used to be this great city, where everyone would go and be very good. But then something happened, and it turned Elantris into, this abandoned, dark city, where when people that come over to the transformation of the Riode, I think that's what it's called, they get sent to the city because something happened. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the magic system because it feels like that there isn't a magic system. But overall, this was a really good book. We're following 3 characters. We're following Rayoden, who is this guy who is supposed to get married to this girl named Serene, or Serene, whatever her name is. And he went over in the transformation, and he gets sent to the city of Elantris, and he's trying to figure out what happened to the city of Elantris. And then we're also following Serene, or Serene, whatever. Again, I can't remember what her name is. She was supposed to get married to Rayoden. I think I liked her, point of view the most, because I kind of liked, finding out, about her family, and her truly discovering that Rayoden, is a great guy for her. And we're also following Harathan, who's this priest going around. He's this famous, he's a celebrity, basically. I wasn't a big fan of Harathan's point of view, which is weird, because I know a lot of people really like Harathan's point of view. My favorite point of view was Serene, because I just liked going through her family members. And then I also liked Rayoden's point of view because I slowly figuring out what the city of Elantris is. And honestly, there was a huge plot twist in here between one side character. I forget what his name is right now, but he was a traitor. He was the one that kind of did this whole thing, and yeah, it was a pretty interesting little book. And I find this criminally underrated. A lot of people say when you're reading the Cosmere, you need to start with Mistborn. I just started with Elantris because that was his first one that was published. I was like, you know what, I can go safely into this, nothing going on, and I liked it. I feel like I didn't think there was really a problem with writing style. I actually think I like the writing style in Elantris. I think the Elantris writing style is easier than the Mistborn writing style. And overall, I'm giving it a 4 stars, 4.5 stars. In the 5 Cosmere books that I've read so far, this is probably my 3rd favorite. I've read 5 Cosmere. I've read The Way of Kings. I've read the first 3 Mistborns, and I've read this. I would say that I like this more than the first 2 Mistborns, but I don't like it as much as the 3rd Mistborn or the Way of Kings. But it's still a really solid book. I like getting, the full story. Usually I don't really care for one-offs, because I feel like we just need more story. But overall, and at the end, I was like, how is this? It feels like that you just cannot wrap this up. But they did, and it was just an amazing book. There's going to be 2 sequels coming to this book, I think. I'm honestly really excited for those. Like, I think it's going to be good, you know? They separated this book into 3 parts, but honestly, I feel like they should have just kept it at 1 part, because, like, having it at 3 parts just didn't really make sense to me. Because, like, it just doesn't feel separated. Yeah, there's the prologue, which was really interesting. It just talked about Elantris. There's part 1, the Shadow of Elantris. Part 2, the Call of Elantris. Part 3, the Spirit of Elantris. And the epilogue, which I'm pretty sure the epilogue is just Rayota and Serene getting married. So it's basically like it's kind of like a romance book, because our main characters are together, but not really. We're trying to figure out if they're actually going to get together. But it's not, like, all about it. Like, it's still a really solid book. And I think it's a great start to the Cosmere. Like, it's a very, very solid book, in my opinion. I really would recommend this. I don't know if I would recommend it just to read a book. But if you're, like, actually wanting to read the Cosmere, I would definitely recommend this book. Probably first, because I feel like the thing with Sanderson is, like, I feel like Mistborn's storylines can get used to, and then Stormlight is just too much of a commitment to just start with. So I feel like this is a great start to the Cosmere. But that's my opinion. I'm kind of reading it in random order, because I'm, like, halfway through Trust in the Emerald Sea, almost up to Son of Man. And, of course, you know, like, 50 pages in Words of Radiance. But, so I'm reading it in a very strange order. But I use the Libby app a lot, so. But overall, this was a great book. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I would say, the City of Elantris was just overall really intriguing to me, and overall, I felt more invested in this than I did in Mistborn, which is kind of weird. It felt, you know, it just intrigued me a little bit more. I don't know why that is. I'm really excited to get these 2 sequels. I think they've said that it's going to be like 28, 29 when these 2 comes out. So I gotta wait a while, and then I think the third Mistborn trilogy is 28 through 2030. So it's gonna suck. I don't know what he's releasing next year, though. But I don't know. I know his latest release was Isles of the Emberdark, which I'm really excited to read. But anyways, this was just a really not a fun book. It's a very sad book. But it's overall, like, I feel like the more you read this book, the happier it gets. Unlike The Hunger Games, which I feel like the more you read that series, the sadder it gets. But this book, the more you read it, the happier it gets. Like, the first part, you're just like, oh, this is depressing. But when you're reading, like, much more of it, it's like, this is a very happy book, but it's not. So, it felt like Star Wars. Like, it did feel like Star Wars Star Wars just was only on one planet. Like, this really did feel like Star Wars to me. Like, it kind of felt like the same kind of plot line. I don't know. You can check that out in the comments below, but I really enjoyed this book a lot. So, this was Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, and I will come back at you with more Cosmere reviews, because I love the Cosmere so far. So, yeah. Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Bye-bye.